God, we are so back. We are so back. I'm so excited for this. It's been a long couple weeks waiting on this. I'm thrilled to finally have this break over and get more FRIEREN. And not just more of the same. We're coming at you with some new stuff, right? We got OP, ED. I'm assuming new characters, arc, like a whole bunch of things that are probably going to be coming in here, and it gets me very excited for that. Do I have any guesses where we're headed? No. The only thing I can say is Sign has to make a decision here to either join the group or, go away and go on his own journey here. I'm assuming he joins, but I'm fully open to the idea that he temporarily goes a different way, and then we meet our plan to meet back up at some other point again. I don't think it really matters whichever one that we kind of go down, but I'm assuming that he's probably going to stay with us, and along the way he'll eventually bump into his friend, even if he doesn't continue to just follow the traces and lead down that path of ultimately probably figuring out that Buddy may have died at some point. Who the hell knows though? So we'll just have to get going and see what they end up doing here. I am very excited. If you like it all, the like and subscribe to mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments with this episode or series. This is a Toho animation show. This will be blocked at some point. If you would like to still watch later on, and it's a couple weeks later and there is no reaction here, please check the link in the description or the comments and you can still watch it. If you have any ideas or understanding of ways that I could possibly use to get around them claiming the audio specifically, not thing on screen, but the audio, that would be greatly appreciated because I am struggling and I have never been able to figure it out. But if people would like to kind of help and maybe have some sort of guesses or ideas of things that I can do, feel free to leave them though. Too much yapping though. Let's get going though with episode 17. You did. And we're not going to tell you to stray away from that.
とりあえず日も暮れそうですし、結論は明日でもいいんじゃないですか。
集落の小屋貸してもらったぜ。
自
由に使っていいってよ。
ありがとう。
This is going to be one of those where you wake up and he's going to be gone, right? Oh yes, all the outlines of the characters and things we'll see. Damn. That's cute. Take care. Oh no, we're going to send the bro off. No. No, I just started liking him.
薪取ってきたぞ。
晩ご飯の食材買ってきました。
You're gonna miss this, my boy.
もうだいぶ寒くなってきたからね。本当だ。すごい。これは新記録。
I've never felt something this cold. Hey, you can feel it too, buddy.
どれどれ。
Oh.
本当だ。超冷て。
でしょう。
おお。やめて。
新記録でしょ。
冷たい。
まったく。
It's like a family.
また冬越えが必要になるのでしょうか。今回は険しい山脈を越えるわけじゃないからね。猛吹雪にでもならない限り大丈夫だよ。
Incoming serious blizzard.
なりましたね。
Huh. Yeah, that's blizzarding, alright.
この地方の寒波は一月は続く。
Oh my
ただ、した
god.
方がいいぞ。
Imagine if we made our decision the day fucking before.
出発する。
それ聞く必要があるの？
寒波が去るまで動けないか。
そう
Damn.
いうことだ。
怪しい老人がやっている魔法店がある
It's
んだよ
perfect.
ね
The。perfect place to be.
私の経験上、ああいう場所には伝説級の魔法がある。そこをゆっくり漁れるのが大きいね。
伝説級の魔法？今までにどんな魔法があったんだ？
カビを消滅させる魔法やしつこい油汚れを取る魔法だよ。すごい。確かにあれは世界が変遷するほど便利でした。
おばあちゃんの知恵袋かな。しかし、もうしばらくは一緒にいることになりそうだ。
Look at the big old smile on his face. He's like, I don't have to make a decision yet. You love that when sometimes you get to like prolong the actual like making of a decision, so you just kind of forget about it as long as you can. Too much reading.
そろそろ寒波の時期も終わる。
冒険者さんらもようやく旅立てる
Now you gotta think about it again.
そうだな。あれ、俺らほとんど一緒に。
I wasn't even thinking about that.
ちょっといい？
どうしたんだフリーレン。酒場に来るだなんて珍しいな。
なんだかシュタルクとフェルンの様子が変なんだよ。多分喧嘩してる。仲裁してよ。
それは構わないが、なんで俺に頼
You're
む
good at that kind of stuff.
仲裁は僧侶の仕事なんだよ。
What are they arguing about? Oh. God, I love Fern so much.
おい、一体何があった？
シュタルク様が悪いんです。
She's always mad at him.
俺が全部悪いんです。
Okay, you acknowledge that.
一人ずつ隣の部屋に来なさい。
この小屋に来たばかりの頃、フェルンが俺のほっぺに冷たい手を当てたじゃん。
Yeah.
おっとな。
今日それをやり返したら、
Oh.
フェルンが切れちゃった。
ガキかよ。
Yeah.
女の子が顔ペタペタ触られていい気がするはずねえだろう。
Especially in a
この
surprise
ままで
like
いいと
that.
思うか？
仲直りしたいです。
した。
I love how it's like so dumb, but because they don't have experience with people like around their age or like in these types of situations and stuff, they don't actually know these proper things. It's great.
は喧嘩の仲裁なんかしてくれないぞ。
ああ、わかってる。
We're gonna miss you,
フェル
brother.
ンに謝るよ。
シュタルクも反省している。あいつガキなんだ。悪気があったわけじゃない。
That's stupid, but I love it.
私が意地になってし
Shit,
まっ
that's
たの
just who you are.
で謝りたいです。
Hmm.
元はといえば私のせいですし、
You did touch
触
him
られたこ
first.
とは気にしてはいません。
Hmm.
ただ、肩を押さえた腕の力が強くて。
Oh.
タルクのこと嫌いか？
なんでそんなこと聞くんですか？そう見えますか？
No, not at all.
じゃあ、怖かったことをちゃんと話して仲直りだ。
He's used to people being scared. Even though he doesn't know.
めよ
He's so dumb.
もう付き合っちゃえよ。
Yeah.
よくわからないけど、ザインはとても頑張っていると思うよ。
Nah.
ありがとうね。
俺のことをガキみたいに褒める
She
のは
is an elderly
実際
woman.
にガキでしょ。
ま
In
あ
comparison.
悪い気分はしない。旅に誘ってくれた時もそうだが、なんで俺なんかにこんなに構ってくれるんだ？
What do you mean they like having you?
やっぱり同族嫌悪かな。冒険に出ようとしないザインが魔王討伐に旅立つ前の私とよく似ていて頭にきた。きっと私はきっかけを与えたかったんだろうね。
To actually get up and start experiencing some shit.
勇者ヒンメルならそうしたってことだよ。
Mm.
君が旅立つきっかけはこの僕だ。
I was like, hi.
私はヒンメルたちに旅立つ勇気と
Mm.
仲間と過ごす楽しさを教えてもらった。
These are things that you wouldn't have the opportunity to if somebody else didn't
楽
extend
し
that
かったで
hand.
しょ。
Yeah. Even though they haven't been together all this month.
とても楽しかったよ。
Mm. And the blizzard
やっぱり
rolls
俺はゴリ
over.
ラを追いかけるよ。
Mm-hmm.
もう後悔するつもりはないんだ。
I respect that.
分かっているよ。
Gonna miss you, brother.
じゃあ元気で。
またね。
He doesn't have anything though, like any belongings. Like, what does he do? Just the clothes on his back. I guess they don't either. Never really even thought about that.
ずいぶんあっさりと別れるじゃねえか。
Yeah, we'll see him soon.
ザインは二人と違って大人だからね。きっとうまくやるよ。
He also knows how to solve these disputes. Ah, that's fun. Instead of just having them go the opposite ways. Think back on all the good memories, brother. I'm sure we'll be
一
seeing
人
you
だ
at
と
some
こんな
point.
に静かなんだ。
We ventured north, even further. But he's got a fish. Nice. Look at him being useful. Early morning.
まあいいか。
As good as it's gonna get.
フェルン
Oh. Uh-oh.
おいフリーレン起きてくれ。
10 more
あ
minutes.
と半日。
そんなに眠っちゃダメでしょうが。それよりフェルンが具合
Maybe a
悪そう
couple
で。
weeks. Oh, it's on you, brother.
おい
Do you know how to treat the sick?
やめてよ。ああ、熱があるね。暖かくして寝てなくちゃ。
All these years together and she's never gotten a cold. Those we haven't seen.
ザインが残してくれた薬草について。
Yeah, of course this also happens after he's gone, right?
魔法で病気の判別をすれば対応する薬草がわかる。
Cool.
でも病気の判別って女神様の魔法だろ。確か聖典の所持者しか使えないって話じゃ。
私だって聖典くらい持っているよ。
え
Do you know?
鍋敷きにされてる。
I was wondering why we were looking at it. I didn't even notice the book.
でも簡単な病気の判別くらいはできるよ。難しい病気はわかんない。
Well, let's hope it's not complex. Okay, we're good. What do you do with her? Will we carry her? Or we just leave her? We milking the cows.
おや、
He's like our cam.
前来た時は村だったんだけどね。
もう何十年も前のことよ。勇者様
It was
も
like
立
last
ち寄った
week.
ことのある由緒ある村だったのだけれどもね。
I love how well known Himmel is. Just nobody knows her.
ここに来てからずっと手を握っているな。
辛そうだからね。フェル
Okay,
ンは風邪をひいた時、手を握ってあげると安心するんだよ。
so she has one sick before.
小さい頃からそうなんだ。どうしたの？フリーレン様、恥ずかしいです。
I'm not a little girl anymore.
なんで？子供扱いしないでください。
But your mom just wants to help.
ちょっと前までこのくらいの女の子だったんだよ。背も私の方がずっと高かった。あっという間だった。私の中ではね、フェルンはまだ子供なんだよ。
She always will be.
多分この先も
Yeah.
ずっとそうだ。
Rare one-on-one time between these two.
さっさと薬の材料を集めない。
Yeah, it's so different for her to actually look at people like that, huh? The turtles.
買うのは木の根に生えているキノコだけどね。
Wow. Holy fuck. This is one pretty ass tree.
綺麗だね。フェルンにも見せてあげたかった。
We can when she's
冬に咲
better.
く花の中では一番好きかな。
なんでフェルンの手を握ったんだ。
You
普
already
段は
know
そこまで
that.
子供扱いしてねえだろ。
私はあれしか苦痛を和らげてあげる方法を知らないから。私はどうすればよかったんだろうね。
だったらもうやりたいようにやるしかないんじゃないか。人には心の支えが必要なんだ。支えてもらって悪い気分になるやつはいねえよ。
Aw. Of course.
何のつもり？
うなされていたから。風邪の時は心細いからね。幼い頃亡くなった母はこうしてよく手を握ってくれた。不思議と落ち着くんだ。
子供の頃の話でしょ。
It's crazy how literally everything this woman knows is from
支え
him.
が必要なのは子供だけじゃない。
Yeah. We might not like to admit it sometimes, but everyone does.
気遣う僕もなかなかイケメンだろ。
And you ruined
黙
it.
って。
You look a lot better when you're quiet, buddy.
できましたよ。
フェルンが恥ずかしがっていたのは俺がいたからだ。
Yeah.
甘えている姿なんて人に見られたくなんかないよな。
but they actually like when it happens.
やりたいようにやってみるよ。お礼にシュタルクが風邪をひいた時は私が手を握ってあげるね。
やだよ。恥ずかしい。
That's the mother's job. She must know.
よいしょっと。
思ったよりもでっかい。怖い。
あと
Big
他
ass
の材料を
mushroom.
加えて、よーくかき混ぜて。
魔女みたい。すごく怖い。
You make sure he's like outside the room or something here. Yeah, there's something else.
フリーレン様、私はもう子供では。
Yeah, we know.
知ってる。知っているよ。
This is what she wants to do. And she's all better.
フリーレン様とシュタルク様、ザイン様の指揮のおかげですね。
Absolutely.
それに、あのお家の方にも。
Yeah, it seems like we run into a lot of really kind people. We haven't really run into anybody who was just rude when we meet them.
じゃあ、目指すは魔法都市、オイ
Alright.
サーストだ。
Second half of the song. Is it stop motion? Look at her. Looks so cute. Aww. That's so cute. We lose a man, we overcome some things, some troubles between others, some illnesses, a bunch of things get done, and ultimately sets us up to the next location and where we're actually heading to next, without actually, I guess, implying what exactly we'll be doing as we continue to head to the city. I think it's a good point, now that I think about it, to really end the core. I thought, I don't know, the way I'm still feeling, it's weird, because usually I feel like you would end it there, right? Like you would be like, this is the location, and now we're off to it, right? Like everything's set in place to get to that location, and then you end it. And then like you go and you switch up OP or ED or like whatever, right? Like you do it then prior to this, but I guess it works really well still with the last thing, because it is like a shift in kind of the direction that we're going to be heading with losing this newly found member and a whole bunch of other stuff moving forward. So I guess it works. I don't know. It's weird. The direction I'm thinking of, at least. But I guess at a certain point you can't just be like 17 episodes deep and only use it for like 10 or 11, right? I don't know. It doesn't really matter though, regardless. Whatever their choice ended up being here. Really sweet episode though, overall. Both halves of it. Covering some pretty interesting things, at least, and some pretty cute moments. And a lot of stuff too, I think, doesn't feel as like center focused, because we're so focused on like relationship between Stark and Fern, or the decision that Sign has to make and all that, but a lot of FRIEREN stuff really this episode, of her being able to like actually see the importance and the impact that we've known before since previous episodes. I mean, so many now, of the impact that Himmel's had and the rest of her party ended up having on her, and the direction that she's kind of changed and gone within her life now too. But it's just so great to see her extending that outwardly to other people. And even at the end, when we get the back end thing of like her just kind of being told to do what she wants, but instead she still wants to follow in the path of the things that Himmel's kind of done and what she feels is right in those situations. And we get to see that like very clearly with the way that she's kind of acting towards wanting to be able to bring in somebody like Sign, and wanting to just treat Fern the way that she kind of is, and the way that she can kind of view these people, and how close that she's caring for these people and these relationships that she has, and really cherishing these things, as opposed to kind of just letting them slip and thinking that it wasn't that long ago, or not too much time, it doesn't really matter. I don't know, it's really great that we can continue to see her just like get more and more attached to these people, or have more and more like purpose and meaning, it feels like, to her own life, is rather than just kind of going with the motions and assuming that everything will just be the same regardless if it takes a year or 50 years. Like, it's pretty cool. We start off new OP. As always, I don't go into OPs as much, like the actual visuals and stuff that can kind of go along with them and what they mean and stuff, because we're already seeing like characters and things that will probably be introduced to at some other point. I just don't like going into them too much for purposes of possible spoilers and things. If I see them, I see them, but we kind of just leave it at that. I think this is really cute though, and I like it. And it kind of parallels the thing that we get to see at the end, where her kind of waking up almost in a dream, laying on the lap of Fern, similar to a bed in the situation, and the two of them kind of being together still in this moment, and they end up getting to be together also in this moment too here, which I think is really, really sweet. The song itself, I'll have to give more listens. I suck with music. Like, I never know if I like things until I hear it like 5 times. So I'll have to give it more of a listen. It felt like it fits the vibe of things pretty well so far, which I know is like one of the things I was off on, or didn't like, at least when I first heard the first OP, was I didn't feel like it like matched the vibe of the series. Now I feel like that's probably the case for the first 3 or 4 episodes, right? And then after the fact, when you start like learning so much more, like, and you kind of understand it, it actually matches pretty well for what we're going to end up getting. But at the exact time of like going into like what you're expecting within the series, what you're actually getting, especially out of like episode 1 and stuff, and then getting that OP and like the music that goes along with it, it doesn't necessarily feel like they kind of matched up too well, in my opinion. And then it grew on me, and like, and it changed overall by the end of the core, and my stance on that. But I think like initial shock of it was a little off-putting, whereas this feels a little bit more exactly like where it should be. But I'll have to listen to more, I guess, to see if I really enjoy the song or not itself. I love us all just kind of staying in here. We get a warm up, cute moments, of course, between these two as we ship them very, very hard, which leads to conflicts that end up coming a little bit later on. We get caught in the blizzard. I love the subs of it's blizzarding. Such a fun situation for Sign, you know, dreading to make this decision. He doesn't want to ultimately do it. He doesn't want to have like these regrets or like do something that he shouldn't, or whatever the situation ends up being, right? But instead he ends up getting a whole month, and then he spends the entire month not actually thinking about the decision or what he wants to do, and also at the same time not properly doing anything with his time, like not spending it with the people that he probably should be, you know, who brought him on this journey and helped him out, and he needs to maybe repay his thanks to, or like show them like whatever, right? Like, he doesn't do any of that. Instead he just stays by himself drinking, which is just great. It's also fun how like everybody else that we get to see, like none of them are really spending time either. It's like we get trapped in here this whole time and nobody wants to spend any time, which I love. We end up finding out that these two end up getting into a fight. I love Fern when she pouts. That's so fucking great. I love it. The communication's so off. It works so well too. They're both people who like don't have experience with other people around their age. They don't have experience with people of the opposite gender. They don't have like any of this sort of experience, so they don't know how to actually like properly act around these people, of course, and it makes sense why they're going to kind of act out these ways and not fully understand literally anything. I mean, just look at her. It's absolutely love that. I love us using Sign as the person in between here and having to actually, you know, calm him down and figure out the whole situation and, you know, give him the good advice and the things we need. This is what I love so much of us kind of using him and putting him in these situations, and it made me feel so good about his role and really starting to like him over the few episodes that we ended up getting. So it is a bit of a jab, I guess, for us to have to lose him. It hurts a little bit. I think this is once again, it's like another childish thing, like just, you know, upsetting her, doing something like this, even though it didn't necessarily bother her, but just the way that she's acting. I like bringing his strength back into this as something, even like he literally doesn't know his own strength, which has been apparent since the beginning, but, you know, having so many other people actually become so aware and actually realize that, I think is great. Also, the way that they apologize to each other is so funny. Fun conversation between these two. FRIEREN realistically wanting to help us out along the way because, one, it's what Himmel would do, and two, she kind of sees herself within Sign. You know, somebody who was just sitting around waiting for things to come, even though you know that those things weren't going to come, and they actually probably deep down really wanted to venture out and do these things, but didn't really have that helping hand or that person really extending it and giving them that faith and that thing to make them like really want to go out and be motivated to do it. And instead she kind of wants to extend that hand to Sign and actually be that person for him. So of course he's very grateful for that, which is a direct thing that we end up getting to see later when she kind of relates the reasons why she's doing all these things, you know, to what Himmel would have done, but at the same time they are things that she actually would have wanted to do. And it's nice to see that she's been living her life the span of what we've been seeing throughout this show so far, at least, actually living by the things that she wants to do while being heavily influenced by him still. But I think that ends up being great. And then I love how he realizes he didn't spend any time with them and he just starts reflecting on everything there. We end up going our separate ways. I love the shot of this as opposed to just completely walking, like one person going one and the other one going the opposite. You know, we have something like this, which I think is a great shot for us to be able to get, and him kind of just reflecting on it and smiling over the memories and the friends and everything that he kind of made that he probably hasn't been able to for many years now. Second half of the episode's really fun too. It's a little upsetting to see Fern get sick and her just be kind of useless within it, but it sets up some fun stuff between FRIEREN specifically and Stark, which we don't really get to see too much of, and also gets us a little bit more into, I guess, her own head and the way that she kind of is seeing things or feeling. I love how she takes on the motherly instinct here, how she ends up acting throughout this one. Also, this moment where she's just sleeping and she's asking for 12 more hours is so funny. The spell of being able to figure out, sicknesses and all that, as long as they're not too complex and whatever, is a pretty useful thing and something that's pretty cool that I guess we have within this world. Also using the book here. she's a very interesting one. I absolutely love her. We end up finding out it's just a cold though, and then we have to venture out further and figure out how we're going to end up finding whatever it is that we need to create something to kind of cure her in these moments or make her feel better. We end up holding Fern's hand in this moment, and it creates a big center focus of kind of what goes on within the second half of Fern specifically not wanting to be looked at like a child, also being embarrassed in this moment of having somebody else kind of watch her being treated like this in Stark, also because it is Stark, right? If it's somebody else it might not matter as much, but that's also another really big part of this. I like how she's been saying that she's been doing this since she was little too, which I think is really, really cute. This moment is like what's so telling to me, like FRIEREN just reflecting on all the time that she's kind of spent with her, right? She's probably scared while she still knows it is just a cold, but she also is aware of like how easy it is for humans and, you know, how short their lives are and stuff. So of course she's going to do everything in her power in these moments to make sure that somebody who she's actually thinking and reflecting on these memories and something that usually she would look at as like, this is only, you know, a couple years, like that's absolutely nothing to her. But instead they're actually like these big lasting memories that she ends up having, that she is being able to reflect on and recall within these moments, which I think is really, really great. And I think Stark's like kind of picking up on like, you know, the way that she is and the way that she's kind of acting here, which we get to see that change in her, which I think is really, really great. I love the montage here. I love also bringing up all the tortoises and stuff that keep coming into this. I think this is the second or third one that we've seen, and I think that's great. Them being so cold and having to bundle up around the fire here, and ultimately we end up getting to find the tree that we were looking for, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the way that they draw it and the way that it just kind of, I don't know, just the shading in the background because of the sunset and everything too, I think just elevates it and makes it look so much better. But it's absolutely so beautiful. She recalls, you know, the moments of why she ends up holding her hand or why she was acting those ways, relates it all back to Himmel, and you know how everybody does enjoy these moments of having somebody that they can kind of rely on and having somebody that is there for them, you know, to kind of assure them that things are okay and treat them these ways. And it's just it's a sweet thing, you know. Everybody does, even if you don't want to admit it. It is the case, and you don't want to admit it, of course, usually to people outwardly, but you do. A lot of people do love being treated this way. I sure as hell know that I do, especially in those moments, especially when it comes to being sick. I am the biggest child when that ends up happening. So I completely understand the reasons why, and you know, I think that's such a cute thing for her to kind of go out of her way and do. I love the big mushrooms, and then her acting like a witch here. Of course, we get the great faces that we usually do with her, and then when we go back and we end up feeding Fern, it's Stark, as somebody who had realized beforehand, you know, probably not wanting him around in that moment, goes out and finds something else that he can do. So of course that she can be a bit more comfortable and that we can treat her this way. I love her being like, I'm not a child, like once again bringing that up, and her being like, yeah, I'm well aware of it, but then both of them smiling and understanding. You know, it's such a sweet thing and moment for the two of them to kind of be in. And I love Fern also just thanking us and, you know, everybody and all these things that kind of contributed to ultimately her kind of being okay. We set forward as our journey continues, and we will move into the city, I believe, going forward. I don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure there's an arc, right? Like that's what we're going to be getting, but I don't know what the arc actually is. So I'm interested to see where that comes, and I'm assuming this is where we're going to end up meeting a lot of the new characters and everything involved. The ED is really, really fantastic, and I absolutely love just the art and everything. I believe it's the same song, right? Like I know it's the same song at least, but I believe it's just the extended, like the second half of it, the part that usually just doesn't make the anime itself. So I think it's literally just that, if I recall correct, because I listened to the full thing like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I believe, and I was like caught off guard with like the change within it. And I believe this is the same thing that I remember hearing. I'd have to go back and actually listen to it. And then I love this when we switch up here, and I believe we go all stop motion at this, which I think is fucking great because the artwork and everything behind it is so cool as well. I like this as well at the end here of the two of them, and then her waking up from the sleep and ends up being on her lap. I love this show so much. I think it's so fantastic, and I literally can't be happier that we end up getting more of it and that we still have another like 11 episodes to go. So yeah, thrilled to be able to be here. I hope you guys enjoyed half as much as I was able to. If you guys liked it all though, hit the like and subscribe. They mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the other videos on the channel, leave any comments about this episode or this series, as well as recommend things as the winter season is now starting. If there's other shows and things that you want me to watch, please leave them down below, because I'm not gonna lie, the season seems kind of like a dud. There's not too many things. I have a couple things on my radar here that we're gonna at least give a shot, but I don't have the most confidence in a lot of them, so I don't really know how much we're gonna end up getting into. So we'll end up kind of just going along and seeing. But if not, at least we got some FRIEREN to fall back on for the remainder of the season. So I'll be very happy with that. Hopefully I see you guys in the next one though. You guys have a good one. Peace.